My name is Kimberly Whitebull. I am the school administrator here at the Fort Yates Public School. We are excited to share some wonderful news that will strengthen our Standing Rock Sioux tribe and community by creating enhanced educational opportunities for our children. Today, we are providing a short video that will introduce a draft educational agreement between the Standing Rock Community Tribal Grant School and the Fort Yates Public School. Let me start with a little bit of history. In 2003, the Fort Yates Public School District and the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe entered into a joint powers agreement to jointly operate the K-12 school system in Fort Yates. By entering into this agreement, the idea was for students to generate both state funding and Bureau of Indian Education funding. The expected outcome was there would be a more integrated and supportive educational environment that would make the most of available financial and educational resources to benefit our students. During this agreement, a 77,000 square foot school was constructed by the Fort Yates Public School with the intent of housing all middle school students. As we fast forward to 2024, the Joint Powers Agreement is no longer in place. Students do not generate both state and Bureau of Indian Education funds, and the public school is only educating grades 6 through 8. Let's take a look at the numbers within both schools. In the 2023 to 2024 school year, there were only 55 students enrolled in the Fort Yates public school system, and these students were in a building with a capacity of over 200 students. There were 100 Standing Rock Community middle school students housed in the Tribal Grant High School, which caused overcrowding in an environment not conducive to house both high school and middle school students. The school board asked me to research the possibility of going into another agreement with the grant school. Our school board directed the drafting of the agreement. That draft was proposed to the Tribal Grant School. At that time, both boards moved to approve the agreement. The agreement then went to the Tribal Education Department for review. It was also reviewed by the tribe's legal counsel, and from there it was then forwarded to the Department of Public Instruction for review and recommendations. The agreement will still have to be approved by the Tribal Council. So once it's approved by Tribal Council, we will publish notice of the agreement itself, and public hearings will be held upon request. This agreement will allow all students to enroll simultaneously in both the Tribal Grant School and the public school. This means that if the agreement is approved by the Tribal Council, all students from both schools will generate state education funding, while eligible students will still generate Bureau of Indian Education funding, as well as impact aid funding. Both schools would keep their independence, each being managed by their own school boards. Both schools would also continue to administer their own funding, and there would be no commingling of funds in the other school's bank account. Property or equipment purchased during the term of the agreement would belong to the party making the purchase. Last year, Fort Yates Public Schools had an average enrollment of 55 students. The current year projected revenue for the public school is $1.3 million without the educational agreement. The current year projected revenue is $7.1 million should the agreement be successfully approved by all parties. There would also be an estimated additional $400,000 in BIE funds generated. This means there could be potential for combined revenue of $6.2 million in new money that could be generated if this educational agreement is successfully approved. The new money generated by this agreement could go towards increasing salaries and benefits to support recruitment and retention of staff. The new money could also be used to leverage development of teacher housing and potentially a new school building. We could also use the new money towards building infrastructure for expansion of career and technical education courses. In the beginning of the 24-25 school year, the school boards and superintendents of both schools decided that it was in the best interest of students to house all students grades 6 through 8 in the same building. These 160 students are currently together in the Fort Yates Middle School building.
My name is Neil Tepper. I'm the school counselor here at the Fort Yates Middle School. I was here from 2010 to 2016. When I was down here first, the schools were all together. First year and a half I was back, it was not that way, and this year we are all back together. The energy in the building is incredible. The positiveness of the students is incredible. People are happy to be here. I think I've seen more smiles on students' faces in the past month than I did in the last 2 years.
We also consider this educational agreement can help us address school improvement needs of all students in both school systems by analyzing shared data and pooling resources. This collaboration can create a supportive and enriched educational environment that can potentially boost student test scores and lead to significant gains in student performance and achievement. Schools can share effective teaching practices, curriculum, and intervention strategies. By learning from each other's successes and challenges, both school systems can implement evidence-based methods that improve student outcomes.
My name is Virgil Teokason. I'm an enrolled member of this tribe, and I had the privilege of working in both school systems. I worked with the Fort Yates public school system and a long time in the Standing Rock grant system. You have to be unified to accomplish things. Does not make a difference if they're from Fort Yates Public or if they're students at Standing Rock. They're our kids. I want our kids to know what it is to be unified. Our two leaders are unified right now. They're both for it. And you can't ask for something more powerful because it starts at the top.
Our goal is to enhance the educational experience for all students, while also fostering greater understanding and respect for our tribe's history, culture, and traditions. Through this partnership, students will benefit from a range of collaborative programs, including cultural activities, language immersion programs, and innovative learning opportunities that embrace both our tribe's traditions and modern educational practices. There are 3 major steps remaining in order to complete this agreement. The educational agreement, once passed by the Tribal Council, is subject to a public hearing upon request prior to submission of the agreement to the Governor for final approval, at which hearing any persons interested in the agreement may be heard. Notice of the time, place, and purpose of the hearing must be published prior to the hearing in the official newspaper of each county of the state reasonably expected to be affected by this agreement. And finally, the educational agreement would be submitted to the Governor upon completion of requested hearings related to this agreement. Thank you all for being a vital part of our community. Together, let's build a brighter future for our children, rooted in our culture and tradition, as well as enriched by collaboration. For more information and to share your thoughts, please contact me at the Fort Yates Public School. We look forward to this new chapter and the positive impact it will have on our students and our community. Thank you.